Welcome to the online training session for Trimble's EC-CAD. In this session, we're going to look at working with routing preferences, creating a routing preference. The last session, we loaded a catalog, and we're going to utilize that catalog to set up the routing preferences. So to do that, you're going to come up and first of all, you're going to go to your ribbon and go to Manage. And from Manage, you're going to come to your Style Manager pull down and go to your HVAC routing preferences. This will bring up your routing preferences, and if you've got the EC-CAD template loaded, you can just go ahead and you'll see a few of those come up. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up as my new template. And now when I go to my Style Manager and go to my routing preference, now I have my routing preferences here. But if I want to create a new one, I'm just going to right click on this and select New. And now it's giving us a new style, and maybe I'm going to say this is going to be my 2-inch water gauge, 5-foot spec or routing preference. So I go ahead and I enter this in. I'll go ahead and get that as the 2. We'll go ahead and we'll just enter that. Now you have to set this to flanged. The only way it's going to recognize the EC-CAD parts if this selection is set to flanged. Now we'll be able to pick our routing preferences, our pipe that we want to use, or fittings that we want to use as we go through this. So once this is all loaded up, then we can come back down here now and start making our selections here. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go first of all into my rectangular duct, and I'm going to tell it what duct I'd like to use. So since I've loaded the catalog, you can see here I have my selections under Trimble Manufacturer Catalog of 2-inch water gauge. I'm going to tell it I want my elbow as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and I want to get my square elbow in this case, my 2-inch water gauge. If I'm going to be using a takeoff, I'm going to use a shoe tap. So if I come down here and get my shoe tap for my 2-inch, then I'm going to go ahead and get my transition I want to use. And there again, that's going to be my 2-inch and also my eccentric. We'll use that as the 2-inch. Those are now set up for the rectangular. You can do the exact same thing for the round by just making your selections here. And you can see here I have my round spec here that I can pick my elbows, my duct, my transitions from. I'm going to use my gourd elbow, okay, and I'm going to use it here as my slip. And then my takeoff, maybe I want to use a conical on this, so I'm going to say I want to use a conical takeoff. And then on my transition, I'll go ahead and select that as well as my round slip. Now I've set up my routing preference for both round and rectangular in my template file here. Now just save this template file, and this routing preference will save with that file. So I'm just going to go ahead and save that back, and now I'm saving that as my DWT template. I'm going to go ahead and set that to DWT, and I'm going to save that right back here to my Trimble EC-CAD for 2021. And I want to save that under my template files, and I'm going to save that as my new EC Start Drawing template. So now I'm going to go ahead and I've saved that routing preference.
We hope you enjoyed this video. See what's next in our product tips playlist, or visit mep.trimble.com for even more product resources.